They were Olympic teammates in Tokyo, and they are best friends, and neither one could wait to see the other. Jade Carey of Oregon State and Grace McCallum of Utah ran into each other earlier today for their reunion. Friends before the competition, but they'll be rivals during it. It's Oregon State and Utah right now on the Pac-12 Network. A cold wind blowing down from the Wasatch Front, but that's not the weather, that's the mood. As the number 4 Utah and their beloved Red Rocks are coming home after a loss on the road to face another stiff challenge against number 13 Oregon State. It's the meet of the week presented by Pacific Premier Bank. 3 Olympians in action, including the gold medalist Jade Carey, who's currently number 1 in the country in the all-around. She's ranked in the top 10 on all 4 events, and she's had back-to-back 10s on different events. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Salt Lake City inside the Huntsman Center. It's Jim Watson and the Olympic gold medalist, Amanda Borden. This is going to be a lot of fun. All right, so we have 3 Olympians, and each one of them is a medalist, and each one won a different color medal at the Olympic Games.
Pretty cool. Utah's Amelie Morgan won the bronze for Great Britain, and she's earned a key spot on this Utah team. She is the leadoff on the uneven bars, and she's coming off a season high of a 9.925. She also has that leadoff spot on the balance beam, and between the 2 events, she has put up multiple 9.9s or better already this season.
Oregon State comes in winners in 6 out of their 7. The Beavs are ranked number 13 in the country. Their second best total came last week at home in a win over Washington. And of course, as we just mentioned, the best all-around gymnast in the country right now is Jade Carey.
Well, 5 meets in, and she's the best collegiate gymnast because she's undefeated on bars, floor, and in the all-around. You mentioned the back-to-back 10.0s. Those were on bars and floor, but she is not going to disappoint today. She has high-flying gymnastics on all 4 events. She's so fun to watch, and she's been consistent.
Even after losing at California last week, Utah still ranked number 4. They posted the highest score of the year in the Pac-12, and of course, they have help from their own Olympian, the great Grace McCallum.
We just saw her unique vault, but she is stunning. She's earned a perfect 10 on the uneven bars as well, and the coaches said she's one of the hardest workers they've ever seen. I'll tell you what, Jim, it's going to be a great night of gymnastics, not just because of the skills, but seeing these 2 young ladies meet.
Pac-12 Women's Gymnastics Meet of the Week is presented by Pacific Premier Bank, the official bank of the Pac-12 Conference, and brought to you by Clean Simple Eats. Eat clean, keep it simple, get results. That is the training facility here at the University of Utah, the Dumke Center, and they have raised enough money. They're going to blow out the walls and break ground on March 1st, expand that thing. Giving out gold medals tonight at the turnstiles. We understand MyKayla Skinner was up on the concourse signing autographs. You know how long the line was? It went all the way around the arena. And maybe she's going to come down and sit with us a little bit tonight. Jade Carey has been spectacular. Those are the numbers on bars. We already told you she's the number 1 all-around gymnast in the country. She's also ranked number 1 on the bars, top 10 in all 4 events. But those numbers are astounding. When you see a number without a decimal point, that's pretty good. Isn't it a 10?
It's unbelievable. I got to see her just a few weeks back, and she was so proud of how accomplished she's been as a collegiate gymnast on the uneven bars. If you watched her as a club athlete, bars was what she struggled on. It was her weakness. So to see her really shine in this atmosphere is great.
Meantime, Utah is the home team in the Olympic order, begins on the vault. Their streak, 18 consecutive meets, more than 2 years, hitting at least 49. If you're new to gymnastics, that's a number to keep in mind. In each rotation, 6 compete, 5 scores, so you can drop your low score, and you're hoping for over 49. These 2 teams, Oregon State number 13, Utah number 4, they're hoping for way better than 49. Standing at the end of the runway for the first time since she was a club gymnast is Sage Thompson. Jillian Hoffman, normally the leadoff for Utah, injured her Achilles at California last week in warm-ups for floor. And so they had to go to Sage Thompson. This will be the first time she's vaulted as a Red Rock. And you know there's a lot of pressure starting off not only the rotation, but starting off the meet on an event she's never done in a college Leo.
Well,
and that's what they're hoping for.
And this is a great event for Utah. That particular vault starts from a 995, the Yurchenko full. She did have that hop back on the landing, but the one thing they've really been focusing on is tightening up the deductions on those landings.
Here's the rundown for Oregon State. Oregon State begins on the bars. Statistically, its weakest event, ranked just 24th in the nation and 6th best in the conference. They're actually averaging just under a 49, but they have been improving. Colette Yamaoka is the first up. All 5 of her scores have increased. At least the last 4 in a row have bumped.
The key for this team on this event is hitting the handstands, of course, having good form, but really it's finding rhythm. They have some great bar routines. They need to put it all together right here in this first rotation. Final handstand right there, nice and clean. Sets up for the dismount, combination giant full double tuck. Came off a little early, but was able to hold on to a clean landing.
College stick there on the landing, just walking out of it. Her best this year, a 9.8. Should be in that neighborhood, a look back.
Here's the combination giant full, finished a hair past vertical.
Oh, yeah.
Did a nice job though of holding on there. Didn't quite have her balance. It's always good when you can tell the deduction.
Well, I picked it up after you saw it first. Big hug from her head coach, Tanya Chaplin. Cami Hall, second up.
The next 5 vaulters for Utah have a 10-0 start value. That means they're performing extra difficulty. This one, 1.5 twist. It looked like she was a little high on the table. Had some leg separations in the middle.
She's gone as high as 9.925 against UCLA with that vault last week. At Cal, a 9.775. Probably going to be right between those two.
You could see as she pushed off the table, she separated her legs a little bit right here. You'll see she kind of opens those legs, bends that knee a little bit. That should generate enough rotation. The risk on this vault is if you don't have enough rotation, you're going to come up short. So you have to weigh out the risk and decide, are you going to earn a score that's worth going for it?
Carly Beeman is second to go for Oregon State, waiting for the score to come in. Yamaoka with a 9.775. Just underneath her season best. Beeman, a freshman from Golden, Colorado, improving gradually on this event, and it's her only on the program tonight. Her best, a 9.85 against Arizona State.
Aggressive first handstand. Jaeger flip, nice distance. She has a nice long swing. So when she has the solid form and the clean handstands, is very beautiful on the uneven bars. Like that, finishing combination. Stalled her to a clean double tuck and nails the landing.
We talked about Utah's streak of 49, 18 straight meets. They're the best in the conference. They're number 3 in the country. Lucy Stanhope, third up, after Hall posts a 9.85. Numbers going in the right direction. Stanhope has a couple of wins already this year on vault, and 3 times has gone 9.9 or better. Her best, a near perfect 9.95 at UCLA.
Another 1.5 twist.
Yes.
And she liked it.
That is a genuine reaction. And you can see Jimmy Pratt, the new assistant coach here at the U of U, exploding at the back of the landing mat. Stanhope maybe surprised herself, Amanda.
She had nice position off the table, legs glued together, and then right as she came into that landing, a blind landing, it is hard to stick. You'll see her feet shuffle a little bit, but she is directly on top of her hips and right in alignment, so very nice.
We'll wait and see how generous the judges are to start this meet. Sometimes they're a little tighter at the beginning to give themselves room to grow. Scores are coming in now. You can hear the crowd reacting, and it's a mixed reaction, so they were expecting more. In the meantime, we adjust our attention back to the bars, where Beeman goes 9.8. Maddie Dagan now, who's an all-arounder. Maddie Dagan on the bars. added this event last year. Her last two have been her best two, including a 9-9 against Arizona State. Big release on the Jaeger.
Yeah, that's new this year. As a senior, she's upgraded her bar routine. It's one of my favorite things about college gymnastics is watching athletes continue to learn new skills and add them into their routine. Combination to finish, giant full. Nice job pushing out of those shoulders.
Oh, yes.
And a clean double tuck.
A clean routine, a beautiful landing. Mike Chaplin right there on the spot.
She's always been a great competitor, so to add that difficulty in makes a big difference. Giant full. Nice job centering it up. Double tuck way above the bar, gave her plenty of time to find a great landing.
Yeah, you can tell that that was a veteran release. Nice and high, just floated all around, spotted early, plenty of time. I'll tell you what, Oregon State has never won here in Salt Lake City. 0 for 35, and they got a chance tonight. Ranked 13th, Utah number 4. Stanhope got a 9.925. That's why that mixed reaction. The crowd was expecting at least a 9.95. But you can see that it's not official. Utah may be throwing an inquiry up on that, asking the judges to look at it again, and I think they're going to change the score. Yes, they have upgraded the score to a 9.95. .995 on the score. So it ties her all-time best. And there is the score, 9.95, correct. Here's Jaden Rucker, the Pac-12 coach champion on the floor, but it's pretty good at the vault as well. A couple of wins. She's always around 9.8, career high at 9.975 at Cal.
Nice height. Oh.
Sat it down.
Yeah, you know what? She had plenty of height. It was almost like she was going for the stick, and that is the risk on that vault.
Well, again, 6 compete, 5 scores, so you can drop the low. Still to come, Alexia Birch and Grace McCallum. 9.825 for Maddie Dagan. I thought that score was soft. I thought it was a little bit better than that. Kayla Bird. Bird on bars this year. This will be her first.
Nice handstand to start the routine. Back up to the high bar. This is where her major release happens. Tkachev. Oh! You know, it really floats up. I've noticed that release move. When it's so high, there's going to be a tremendous force when they come down. And that's exactly what happened. It looked like as her grips tried to grab the bar, just wasn't able to hold on.
And man, I want to correct myself. She actually had come off a career high on bars last week at Cal. Wrong note, my mistake. And Kayla will remount.
That fall, of course, 5/10 of a deduction. Still has to finish it out with the dismount. Full twisting double back. All right, now both teams have made a mistake, so pressure's on the back part of that lineup.
So a little drama early on. We have a fall on either side, one on vault, one on bars, and now a lineup change. So Alexia Birch scratching here, and they're going to go with Alani Sabato. Now Sabato is a sophomore. She had one vault as a freshman, but it was a big one, clinching the Pac-12 championship with a 9.8.
Big layout full and a great landing.
Boy, she's like a pinch hitter. Just comes in at critical moments. Turned it around in a hurry.
You hear a lot of these teams that have the 10-0 start values on vault with the Yurchenko 1.5 twist. They really rely on how each athlete warms up, and sometimes it makes more sense to go with the vault that starts maybe only at the 9.95 like this vault, but you know they can nail it when the pressure's on. Beautiful.
Utah right now averaging almost a 197.5 on the season. Their best at 197.775. That came in the home opener here in a win over Oklahoma. It was the highest score in a home opener in Red Rocks history. You're talking about a program that's won 10 national championships. So the score on Bird will want to be dropped and puts pressure on the back end of the Oregon State lineup. Jakubczyk, Phoebe Jakubczyk from the UK, looking for a little consistency on this event. Season high 9.875 came at Cal, a 9.75 last week at home against UW.
And a unique routine to start that straddle back half, and then major release combination between the bars right there with the Ginger. Short on that final handstand. Finishing double Arabian.
Wow.
And a hop forward.
Jakubczyk, part of the UK senior national team in 2019. She was a silver medalist in the British Championships on the vault that same year. Comes in with that nice international pedigree, seeing more and more of that in this conference.
A lot of release moves packed into that routine. You can see that Ginger right there. Just some form deductions throughout.
Next. 9.8 for Sabado off the bench. And here is Grace McCallum. Olympic silver medalist. Ranked 23rd on the vault, has a win.
And a unique vault.
And holds on to it.
We see most athletes do the Yurchenko, which is the round-up back handspring onto the table. She actually does a half turn, putting her in a front handspring position. Then she does a front handspring front, tuck half off. She does go sideways on the mat. You'll see when she lands, she's way to the left side of the table. Of course, it's a clean landing though, chest up nicely.
Well, the best score we have seen has been Stanhope's 9.95. Other than that, it's about a wash, but we still have one to go, don't we? And it's the great Jade Carey. Seems like every time we go to the bars, the judges are just about 30 seconds behind. Carey's ready to go, but no chance you're going to rattle her. Back-to-back meets with a 10, including a 10 on bars against Arizona State. She is undefeated in the all-around, on bars, on floor, 5-0. She has 23 wins this year. Jakubczyk, just a 9.65.
I think they took deductions for leg separation in that short cast handstand.
You said it when it happened. So a lot of pressure on Carey now to rescue this rotation and come up with a big score.
Big release combination right here, full twisting pack, back down. Her form, beautiful, legs glued together. And all that's left is the dismount. Plenty of air time.
Anything wrong with that?
You know what? I watched her bar routine that earned a 10.0. Last week on this event, one judge gave it to her, so she had a 9.975. It's hard for me to find deduction. Her legs are glued together on her release moves, big combinations. The dismount way above the bar gives her plenty of time for a perfect landing.
Because she comes in as an Olympic gold medalist, because she comes in #1 ranked, are the judges looking for more? Are they asking for perfection? Do they judge her more difficult?
Well, they shouldn't. They should look exactly what she's doing. I mean, she hit every single handstand. She didn't have any major form breaks. So it's definitely going to make that 9.9 mark or better. Unfortunately, when it comes to some of those deductions, they're subjective. Was it a perfect vertical line? We'll have to see what they think.
Utah goes 49.225. And waiting on the scores for Oregon State. Be close for them to get to 49 because of the problems in the middle of the lineup. And it's a 9.95 for Jade Carey. The score is in. And we'll give you their total when we come back to the Huntsman Center live on the Pac-12 Network. It's the meet of the week. So Jade Carey goes 9.95, and that gets Oregon State back to a level 49 for them. And remember, they're averaging under a 49, so they continue to prove each week. The Red Rocks go 49-225. Grace McCallum on the back end goes 9.85 after Sabato comes off the bench with the 9.8. So we just saw an Olympic silver medalist in McCallum, Olympic gold medalist in Jade Carey. There's Olympians all over the place. Of course, I'm sitting next to Amanda Borden, who won a gold medal in '96. And this is the great MyKayla Skinner. Of course, we saw her many, many times in Leo. Now she's in street clothes, silver medalist from the Olympic Games. Thank you very much for coming by and joining us. I know you're up on the concourse. How long did you sign autographs?
For an hour. Felt like 2, but didn't get everybody in, so I was rushing as fast as I could.
I
Felt
heard
bad.
the line was pretty long.
Yeah.
I just asked you got a chance to see that first rotation. What'd you think of the 2 Olympic teammates?
I think it's amazing. It's incredible to see Utah grow and to, fulfill the legacy that we've created, and they're doing amazing. I'm just so proud. It's so weird sitting back in the stands and watching,
That's what I was going to ask you. Obviously, we had many years getting to watch you and your incredible gymnastics, but when you come back in here, and you're watching your teammates, do you miss it?
I do. I thought I wouldn't, but I almost cried when, they got to the last rotation, which is floor. And I was like, I just want to go out there and do floor one more time in the Huntsman Center, but it's been so fun to, have a normal life and now get to cheer on these girls like they did for me.
Well, I'm sure you could jump back out there and probably still do it, but what are you up to now? Are you still involved in gymnastics?
I'm not. I've been taking, the time to just be a normal person, and I'm finishing school my last year here at the U, so we're living back here and just enjoying life and just trying to figure out what I want to do. It's kind of weird now,
You and your husband Jonas, right?
Yes,
So, and you guys have been married a couple years now?
2 years.
2 years now.
Yep.
I have to tell you this because I rarely do this, but when you won your medal at the Olympic Games, and I want you to tell us about the lead up to that, I was so excited for you because I've been through part of your ride, and your career's been an odyssey. You've had ups and downs, you've been close, had things taken away from you. And to win that medal, I was so excited, I actually texted Tom Farden and said, I'm so happy for MyKayla. Tell us when you found out you were going to fill in for Simone Biles on the vault, what your reaction was and what your mood was, and then winning the medal.
Yeah, so I didn't find out till 24 hours before the meet, and I know that after team finals, they told me I had to stay and I was going to fly out and go home. And I had to wake up the next morning, go to practice, change my mindset, and I'm like, this could be it. Like, I could be going in for vault. Like, how crazy. Like, I never would have thought this was going to happen. And then before you know it, Simone was like, you're in, you're going in, you're doing this. And I was like, I'm doing this for us. Like, let's go out there and let's do this. And had that opportunity to win a silver medal. And, all my dreams came true. And I just feel so blessed and honored to go out and represent Team USA and be able to go out and compete one last time.
I think it really is a testament to your character. You had so much success, and there were some disappointments, and some of it wasn't fair, and I'll say it for you. To get that opportunity, it's funny how destiny steps in. But I was surprised at how you were ready. You stayed ready. You just kind of assumed that there was going to be one more chapter at the back of your book.
I did. I felt it in the back of my mind. I knew it was maybe going to happen, but didn't think it was going to happen like that, So that was just incredible. Such a cool experience.
What's the best thing that's happened to you since the Olympic Games?
I don't know. I think retiring from gymnastics and just being able to live life.
Coming back to Utah. Yeah.
Coming back to Utah and watching the gymnastics because it's getting real hot in here.
Two-time NCAA champion, a multiple Pac-12 champion, I think 7 times, 111 victories here at the University of Utah. It's always great to come to the Huntsman Center. Man and I are a little angry with you. We wanted to see one more year, but I understand enough is enough. And you finish. Listen, we cannot be happier for you the way it turned out. Nobody deserved a medal more than you did.
Thank you.
Really happy for you. And you always showed grace and poise the whole time, and you put up with all of us. So thanks so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And then she comes and gives us more time. The great MyKayla Skinner. Honored to have her back inside the Huntsman Center, one of the all-time great Red Rocks, and a 2020 Olympic silver medalist.
Let's take a look at Jade Carey's bars. She's gotten a perfect 10.0. That might have been the one deduction they saw. That final cast stand a hair short, but look at the height, way above the bar with the 2 flips and the 1 twist. So impressive to watch.
It'll be interesting to see how they score her during the year. And speaking of interesting, you see those pants. That's Brian Rashilla, the assistant coach at Oregon State, longtime Alabama coach, and for a couple of years at Auburn. I was teasing Brian about those orange and black checkered pants. He says he wears them usually in warm-ups, but not always for meets. I said, you got to wear them tonight. We'll get a shot of it, put you on TV. And then Brian told me a story. that he used to be a club coach in Ohio, and he used to spot you as a club gymnast, even though he was a coach of a competing team, because he could spot better than your coach. So, true story?
Absolutely. I think I met him when I was about 10 years old.
Thank you, Mark Wolfson, our director. I should have tipped you off on that. Look at those pants. You got to wear those with confidence, right? All right, so Oregon State now goes to the vault, starts off our second rotation, where they're ranked 10th in the country, second best on this event.
And this is an event they've really been improving on week to week.
That's Lauren Lech, the leadoff. She's been the leadoff and now in the last 3, and her scores have increased in 5 straight meets. She was coming off a career-high 9.825. And here's the third Olympian we've been talking about all night. Gold medalist Jade Carey, silver medalist Grace McCallum, and the bronze medalist with the Great Britain team. The British had their best Olympic showing ever. Amelie Morgan leading off on the bars for the Red Rocks.
Last week, she put up a season high on this event. Beautiful release combination, that full twisting pack, salto down to the low bar. She's had perfect cast handstands, hitting those vertical lines, finishing combination, giant full double tuck, a little close to the bar. Had to take that hop, but a clean start.
Utah averaging as a team 49.375, ranked 6th in the country, second best in the conference on this event. It's always been a stronghold here at the Huntsman Center. 9.825 for Lech. And here's Sydney Gonzalez. Gonzalez has been solid on the vault, all 5, 9.75 or better. Good lead off. That's just what you need.
We're seeing more and more of those unique vault entries. Again, turning onto the table, and she blocks off. Adds another half twist, and she performs it in a pike position. Does start from a 10.0. Nice position in the air. Just that hop back on the landing. Nicely centered behind the table. The hop was what took her off center there.
So Lech and Gonzalez get Oregon State out quickly on vault. We'll see if Red Rocks match on bars. Still waiting for the score from Morgan to be posted. And then Grace McCallum, who was just the anchor spot on the vault with the 9.85 in the 2-hole here on bars. Their head coach, Tom Barton. 9.85 for Morgan.
Grace is beautiful on this event. Her form and her line like that. Release combination, pack salto, perfect positioning, and then taking it right back up with that pack, the Maloney half. And dismounting full twisting double back. A little lean back on the landing, but she struggled on the uneven bars last week. I mentioned she's also earned a perfect 10 on this event, but one of the most challenging things about gymnastics is when you make a mistake to not let that be in the back of your head, so good for her.
Well, remember, McCallum has had 3 different bars routines in the last year of her life. She had the Olympic routine, she had the tour, the Olympic tour afterwards, and now the college routine. So I'm amazed she doesn't get confused up there. Caitlin Yanish now for Oregon State. Yanish has been terrific, a grad student now, consistent. Always between 9.8 and 9.9 on vault.
And she is just having a blast coming back for this additional year. She is a strong vault and floor performance for Oregon State. You can see the power, the distance. The only deduction is that hop back. 22
career victories for Yanish. It'll be strange to go do an Oregon State meet without Yanish. She's been there so long and has been such a big part of it. 9.95 for McCallum. So as you mentioned, can't be a career best because she had the 10 at UCLA. Abby Paulson for the first time tonight. Paulson always around 9.8. At a 9.85, the best of Utah. And a 9.775 against Oklahoma early in the year.
Similar combination work to start the routine.
She's been in and out of the lineup. She's only had 6 routines in the last 4 meets. So trying to find the rhythm again.
This is a great event for Utah, but they've made some lineup changes this week, trying to find the right rhythm.
Meantime, Yanish gets a 9.8 on her vault, right in her wheelhouse. That's what she almost always gets, right around there. Maddie Dagan. Dagan on bars went 9.825. Dagan on vault, 9.8 plus 4 times. And
wow.
That's gonna be 9.8 or better. She went 9.925 at Cal, had a 9.825 last week. This has got to be close to a 9.9, don't you think?
That was beautiful. So we saw Lucy Stanhope do that same vault. It went 9.95. I feel like this one had a little better block. See that small leg separation, so that's gonna be the question. Did the judges see that? We get to watch it in slow motion, but she was centered and square on the landing and had perfect control.
Scores in for Paulson, a 9.85, so that ties her season and career high on bars. Sage Thompson is already a hero, filling in to lead off on vault with the 9.775 for the injured Jillian Hoffman. And now Thompson onto her usual event, the bars, where she has won this year. A 9.925 against Oklahoma in her Huntsman Center debut and won the event. That a way to introduce yourself.
Big combination right here. Ginger inside the bar. This has been a perfect routine, hitting every single handstand, legs glued together. All that's left is a double layout. And she nailed it.
She sure did. You look in the background, there's Tom Farden. Before the meet, I told Tom, we were in the tunnel together just chatting, and I said, you know what, is that Megan Marsden right there?
I can't see.
Yeah, maybe. I said to Tom, on bars, when your gymnast hits the mat, I look at you first to see your reaction. See if you can watch Farden in the background with the body English, right? Arms up. When he puts his arms in the air, you know it's a good one.
Well, this was a stunning routine. It had all the difficulty, perfect form throughout, high-flying double layout, and a great landing.
Well, that's a nice night for Sage Thompson. 9.9 for Dagan. Well, we were right on the number there, weren't we? Carly Chavez from Clovis, California, a vault specialist. Score's been improving. Had a 9.8 against Arizona State, looking for a touch more right here.
Let's see what vault she does. She went with the 1.5. When I talked to the coaches, they said we got to wait to see how she warms up. Sometimes she does the full twist. Today she went with the more difficulty. Nice job holding on to the landing. That extra half twist makes such a big difference because of this right there. She did a great job not stepping backwards and just settling into the landing, but the risk is, of course, sitting it down. She did take that hop back.
How about Sage Thompson ties her career high? Second time she's gone 9.925 in her young career. Thompson is a homegrown product. Here is Miley O'Keefe. Miley O'Keefe, 2-time NCAA champion, including on this event, Pac-12 Gymnast of the Year, and of course a Pac-12 champion on bars. Every one of her routines has been at least 9.875.
And this has been beautiful so far. Unique dismount to finish the routine up, double Arabian.
Yep.
Taking that step forward, but beautiful routine start to finish.
She's got 9.9 twice, did it against Stanford, did it at Cal. And remember, if you missed us at the top, Utah was beaten on the road last week at number 11 Cal. First Pac-12 loss in 2.5 years for Utah. Chavez, 9.775. Jade Carey once again in the anchor spot. She anchors everything for Oregon State. She's ranked 9th in the country and has won 4 times on vault. 4 times she's got 9.9 with a 9.95 at Cal.
Well,
Look at the amplitude. My goodness.
okay, she has not gotten a 10.0 here, but that is the most difficult vault we will see in competition. We watched MyKayla Skinner do that for many years. The height. Watch, straight up off the
Look
table.
at the block. Oh my
wraps
goodness.
in for two full twists.
Almost out of our shot. Scrape the top of your TV screen.
That's definitely the best landing I've seen her do this season.
Legs perfect. What's wrong with that? She's already had a 10 on bars. She's had a 10 on floor. She's had just a 9.95 on vault. Well, the pressure's on the judges now. And the thing you love about Jade Carey, and everybody does, how calm she is. She just shares the moment with her teammates. It's no big thing. It's what I do. But it's not cocky. Miley O'Keefe, 9.9, so that's back-to-back 9.9s, 3 now in the set, with Crystal Issa still to come. Issa is a house favorite. He's been here for a while now, a senior. Issa on the bars, a two-time All-American, has won twice. 9.85, 5 of 6 this year.
Nice save there on that cast handstand, going for that vertical line. Have to pull it back a little bit, but a difficult combination to finish this out. She does a giant full to an immediate double layout.
Hold on to it, back on the heels, try to cover it. We'll let Issa finish her celebration. Our attention goes back over to Jade Carey and her score. I can tell you, it's not perfect, but it's about as close as you can get. A 9.975 for Jade Carey. Should it have been a 10? Well, that's what we get paid to do, huh? We'll see if maybe one of the judges threw it out and why the other didn't. Jade Carey, Olympic gold medalist, continues to wow us. Well, we've seen some amazing gymnastics already. Maddie Dagan goes 9.9 for Oregon State on the vault. And then at the back end of the lineup, Jade Carey. Look at the height. Look at the distance.
I thought it was going to be a 10.0. One judge gave it, the other a 9.95. So the final score, a 9.975. So a little bit closer to that perfect 10. All
adds up to a 49.325, which is the second best vault rotation of the year for Oregon State. Oregon State had a 49.350. In fact, they've done it a couple of different times at Cal and Arizona State, so they found their sweet spot, and that's a great number, and it's why they're a top 10 team on that event. Now for Utah, over on the bars, they're number 6 in the country and ranked second, averaging a 49.375. They went way above that. Their second best score of the year as well. They went 49.55 in that win at UCLA, and they go 49.5 here with Crystal Issa on the back end, getting a 9.875. But how about Sage Thompson? Again, she led off on the vault, not her normal spot, and did yeoman's work there with a 9.775. Comes back in the more comfortable event here on bars and posts the 9.925.
Well, she had the beautiful form throughout, the high-flying releases, and she's really gaining confidence, going aggressively for every single detail, including the landing.
So we were halfway through, and a 97.725 for Utah would take them into the mid-197s if they stay on pace. Utah will go to the balance beam, where they are the best team in the conference, 8th in the country. Oregon State moves to the floor, where they are number 6 and second best in the Pac-12. It's the meet of the week, presented by Pacific Premier Bank, live from the Huntsman Center in Salt Lake City, only on the Pac-12 Network.
I didn't really know what to expect. Obviously, I hadn't even visited the University of Utah before I came because of different reasons. I couldn't come out. But it's been everything and more than I expected. And everyone's been so welcoming. It feels like I've been here for a lifetime already, and I've only been here like 6 months. I just feel like such a big part of this family. And yeah, I'm really enjoying out here. For me, being a leadoff, I love being in that position. Going up first, I love that, I can just set the team off right. And that's what I aim to do ultimately every time. I wouldn't be in that position if they didn't trust me to be in that position. So For me, I kind of use that power and like just put everything into it, and kind of I just aim to set off the team in a good way every meet. And I think it's an exciting thing to be able to be the first one in an away meet to kind of set the vibe off right. So for me, I look at it as a good thing. I enjoy it.
Jim, I can relate to that. I loved being the leadoff. I was in that position at the Olympics. I wanted to warm up, I wanted to stay focused, and I really wanted to set the tone. Many athletes do not like that position, so when you find somebody that really wants to make that happen, it's such a great thing.
Tom Farden in the background there told me before the season that back in 2016, he took a road trip. He went to England. He said he had no real appointments, rented a car, started driving around to gyms, shaking hands, introducing himself. And through that connection, Amelie Morgan ends up in Salt Lake City. And Tom was talking about international athletes and the special courage that they have to show because they go so far from home. Imagine going away to college and then going to a different country, and there's culture shock. You're removed from your family and you're asked to excel both academically and athletically. So he has a real respect for those athletes that come from an international background, and of course what they can offer the University of Utah and the Red Rocks gymnastics program. Well, it's Olympian night here inside the Huntsman Center, but it's one of just 3 themes tonight. In fact, it's a couple of important nights as well. It's the LGBTQIA+ Winter Inclusion Week, and so in light of that, the University of Utah wearing special leotards tonight. All-inclusive pride flag represented on it. The University logoed mask during the meet, and they have also chosen new beam music, so there'll be background music during the beam, as there always is, but this week they all changed, and they're all taking selections from LGBTQIA+ inclusive artists. So nice touch here by the University of Utah on Olympian night, on Pride night, and every team doing this year. So the meet is close. Right now, Utah is on pace for a mid-197. That's right about their average. And Oregon State is above a 196.5, right on their average. But Oregon State is trailing by 0.4 at halftime. Amelie Morgan first on the beam for Utah.
And a solid triple series to start the routine. Throughout the balance beam routine, you'll see a variety of skills, the tumbling elements, leaps and jumps like that, or showcasing flexibility. Last week, she put up a 9.9 in this leadoff position.
Yeah, that's 3 straight 9.9s for her on this event. Stanford, at UCLA, and at Cal. That's exactly what Farden wants in a leadoff. Wow. Hold on to it. Whoa.
Yeah.
Got a little wonky there and stayed with it. Fought
that
for the landing.
A great save, that combination, side aerial, full twist, dismount, but it looked like when her left foot landed, it was not centered on the beam. That could have caused a major mistake, but stayed calm, worked through it.
Morgan had a 9.85 on bars, which ended her streak of 9.9s, but that's now going to be 7 events in a row with at least a 9.85. And Morgan stays perfect in that she is now 14 for 14 on hit routines. Over to the floor, where Oregon State is having a fabulous year. They've gone at least 49.225 in every meet. Second best in the conference, 6th in the country, averaging a 49.4. And Sydney Gonzalez starts us off.
Just last week, they put up a huge 49.675 on the floor exercise, so they're hoping to match that right here.
That's the number 5 score in the country this year.
Nice double pike. Their first 2 athletes really set the tone on this rotation because the back 3 or 4 can put up those huge 9-9s or better.
So Gonzalez is ideal in that leadoff spot because she always posts a pretty good score and gets you pointed in the right direction. Her best, a 9.825, done that a couple of times. Had a 9.775 with that routine last week. There's Morgan. Morgan 9.825, doesn't get back to the 9.85 level, but still a good start. There's McCallum. McCallum already has a 9.85 on vaults and a 9.95 on bars. Beam's been a bit of a struggle for her. She's had a couple of falls, but did have a 9.95 versus Stanford. It's the Wolf turn.
Well, you can see those unique elements that she brings from her elite gymnastics career, that difficult mount, doing a back handspring onto the side and catching in that front chest support. Of course, that Wolf turn, coming back handspring layout, step out. Looked a little off, but throughout the years, I've mentioned the best beam workers figure out how to stay on the beam when they're not perfect, not overreacting, just letting the landing settle in.
Flash in the U, as they all do in their routines.
Last week against Cal, the beam lineup had 2 struggles, so just really looking to find a solid rhythm.
And I'll tell you, we expect a lot from Grace McCallum. I know after a couple of falls earlier this year, that was a big moment for her. You can see, I think she said, well, I stayed on.
Well, you have to remember, for these Olympians, they went on a tour. They missed out on their preseason with the team during the fall because they were enjoying the celebration of being an Olympian, and then right into their collegiate season. So it sounds easy, but to maintain training and precision and then remember what it's like to get out in competition, and representing yourself is much different than being a part of a team. It's a different kind of pressure.
Sydney Gonzalez just posted a career best 9.85. We told you she was ideal in that spot. And now Kayla Bird. And for Bird, this is her best event.
Front combination to start. Beautiful flexibility on her leap pass. Two and a half twist.
So Oregon State's staying in the meet. The problem for Oregon State on the road is they're going to have to close on the beam. So you're closing on the beam, on the road, and against Utah, who of course will be on the floor, where they're the best team in the conference. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. 9-9 for McCallum. Another 9-9. She keeps piling them up. Adrian Randall. Honorable mention Pac-12 last year. But she's gotten into kind of a strange pattern of good and bad. Just rotating, had a 9.85 at Stanford, 9.8 at Cal last week.
She has a nice sharp rhythm.
Yep, she looks determined.
Setting up for her first tumbling pass. Perfect.
Yep.
Unique element right here always catches
Ow.
the attention.
Lopova. Full twisting swing down. Yep, and then the U. That's about as clean as I've seen her do it. That was beautiful.
She definitely mounted. You could see it in her eyes. She was on a mission in this routine. All that's left is the dismount. 1.5 twist.
Yes. Wow.
That was a beautiful routine. I didn't see any deductions.
Well, her season high is 9.85. She has a 9.975 in her career.
Even the swing down was dead straight. There wasn't any bobble on the landing of that. And then the dismount, snapping right in.
Watch her face. She knows how good it is right there.
You could see it from the minute she mounted the routine. Her focus and her body movements were very sharp and determined. Good for her.
Assistant coach Carly Dockendorf, first one there with the hug. Back-to-back 9.85s for Oregon State on the floor. Lauren Lech, this is her best event. All 5 floors this year have been at least 9.8. She's coming off a career high 9.925 against Washington a week ago.
Nice combination, back 1.5 to that front full. Dramatic music to match her choreography, really draws you in. Unique choreography and beautiful flexibility throughout.
Good cover. That was beautiful. Very nice effort from Lauren Lech.
She's a beautiful dancer. So she really draws you in with her facial expression and her choreography.
She's been on 3 events in almost every meet this year. Randall goes 9.925. It's a season best for Adrienne Randall. And I thought that could have been a little bit better. Paulson and all of the Red Rocks with unique mounts. Saw Paulson with a 9.85 in bars in the second rotation.
Difficult series, side aerial layout, step out.
Paulson is an All-American on beam at a 9.9 against Oklahoma. But she too has had some bobbles on the beam.
Yeah, last week it was a 9.575 because she didn't connect that leap series, so much better job here today. Side aerial, layout full. She really stepped that back foot in and launched that full twist up. Beautiful amplitude. She did not like the 9.575, so she wanted to make it a point here.
Nobody liked it.
She does a great job of getting
right.
airtime on that. That's not easy to do.
Yeah, she looked like a diver, the way she went straight up. And looked like she was on a springboard. You're starting to understand now why Utah is the best team in the conference on the beam, and it was a point of emphasis the last 3 years here. As Tom Farden took over as the solo head coach, he said, we're not only going to be better on beam, we're going to be the best on beam. And they are now best in the Pac-12. 9.875 for Lech. That's an excellent score for Lauren. And the Beavs still in it. Everybody's got to score. Dagan, Yanish, and Carey to finish off the floor.
Front double full, holding that landing. These last three in the floor lineup all have E tumbling passes. That front double full was Maddie's. They've also all been posting 9-9s or better, meet after meet. Finishing with the perfect double pike. And a lot of personality. She is always so fun to watch. Another great floor routine for her. She opened this routine with a front double full and does a great job controlling the landing. That is the most challenging part with those twisting passes.
Tanya Chaplin, now in her 25th year in Corvallis. Taking the Beavs to the regionals every year. Makes the math easy for me. So we just saw 995 from Paulson. Here's Isa, and hold on. Don't be scared. She's a professional. It makes me flinch every time, Amanda.
I always wonder how you try that. I've never tried that one. With every gymnastic skill, there are plenty of lead-ups. You don't just try that particular skill, but she's setting up for her tumbling series, triple series. Back handspring, 2 layouts, step out.
Oh, flawless.
Last week, that's where her struggle happened.
2-time All-American, and has already won twice on beam. And watch her face. A little queen in the background.
She always has a fun, easy rhythm on balance beam. She moves quickly.
It's why the crowd loves her here. She connects, she lets you in.
Always has a lot of personality, which is not easy to do.
Right,
and
on
she
cue.
just,
Can't help but pull for her. Yes, yes.
I didn't want to say it, but she fell last week on that flight series. So that's, I'm sure, where some of that excitement is coming from. And
I just saw my favorite sign of the year, Stick Lake City. That's awesome.
And the fans are on their
How
feet
can you
here.
not root for Crystal Issa? Look at that face. Good for her. I know it's tough if you're in Corvallis, but you got to at least respect it and admire it. It's why we all love the sport, moments like that. Meantime, the Beavs on floor putting together a tremendous rotation. Gonzalez and Bird went 9.85, Lech went 9.875, and Maddie Dagan 9.9. And they still have Yanish and Jade Carey, the Olympic gold medalist, on the floor still to come. And the crowd erupts. She got it. Crystal Issa is perfect.
Just a year ago, we were in this building with no fans. And moments like this, you just, not only is it special for these athletes, it's just as fun for us.
Look at, and Yanish understands the moment. She says, I'll wait, because you don't want to miss me either. Well, there was a quick shot, a cutaway. A friend of ours, Liz Abel, the longtime sports information director here at the University of Utah, and our dear friend, jumping up and down. She can cheer openly now. She was working, had to be quiet.
The energy is high in this building, and this is a great routine to follow with. Watch this first tumbling pass. Whoa! She threw in the split in that double layout. A few years back, we watched Caitlin Ohashi do that move. She's always had the fast flipping double layout, but that wowed everybody.
That's a great throwback. Ohashi's floor, of course, swept the country 2 years in a row. Not only a two-time All-American, but coming off back-to-back season bests on the floor, 9.975 last week. Near perfect.
And a high-flying double tack to finish it.
So years from now, when people mention to me Issa's 10 on beam, I'm going to remember that right afterwards, Yanis had that look on her face and said, go ahead, you enjoy that, because I can stick this anytime I'm ready. And when the crowd sat down and gave her their attention, she delivered.
Well, and not just a great routine, she upgraded that first tumbling pass, double layout with the split in the middle. She's always one of my favorites to watch because she's high energy, she's got the powerful tumbling, she makes it look so easy, and that's what floor exercise is all about.
There's the 10 for Issa. So folks watching at home without the sound are finding out now. Miley O'Keefe in the anchor spot. Miley O'Keefe, the Pac-12 champion on this event. Ranked number 3 in the country, has won 3 in a row. And all of her scores this year, 985 plus.
Side aerial layout, step out. Her artistry, flexibility. Nice fluid leap pass there.
Keep in mind that O'Keefe has had a perfect 10 twice on balance beam in her career. And one came this year.
Details like that, holding the full turn at the end to show her control. All that's left is the dismount.
How do you follow a 10? Like that?
Like that. This beam lineup, incredible. The difficulty, the artistry, the perfection.
And Oregon State trying to stay in the moment. Jade Carey getting some final words of encouragement. Remember last week, it was Jade Carey who got the 10 on floor against Washington at home at Gill Coliseum. She said she thought about being an Oregon State Beaver for 7 years. She loves it. She's in the right place. And that was the right moment. Jade Carey, perfect in Corvallis. Well, you can tell by the crowd's reaction, it's not a 10 over on the beam. And with all this drama on one side of the room, Oregon State, the perfect lineup by Tanya Chaplin, having veterans like Yanis and Carey. Even though she's a freshman, we know she's much more mature than that. And here you go, Jade Carey, Olympic gold medalist on the floor.
Double-double.
so high, Amanda. That was right in our lap. Had to crane our neck to see her.
My favorite part is she just jogs into that type of pass. Makes it look easy, and always has been an athlete that loves tricks.
Jade Carey, the Olympic gold medalist, on the floor, and now a freshman at Oregon State University, and already with a 10 on this event. Oregon State's shown me a lot. With all this going on and with so much success for Utah on the beam, Oregon State just had a tremendous floor rotation.
Well, the huge double-double in this routine definitely helps.
Remember, as a team, and you pointed it out, Amanda, at the start of this segment, 49-6-7-5 against Washington at home last week. The number 5 score in the country this year. They're going to continue their streak of 49-2-2-5 in every meet. There's Crystalisa celebrating with a drink and a dance. Her perfect 10. Great moment for Issa, the first 10 of her career. Waiting on the score for Carey. It's not in yet. We'll tease you through the break. Crystalisa in the 5 spot for the University of Utah. Had been close to perfection before, but she had never been this good. Look at that.
It's the height and the flexibility, and then the smile throughout this whole routine. It just draws you in. It looks like she's having so much fun, and you almost forget she's on a 4-inch balance beam.
The most difficult event. Watch the twist. And sticks it, and she knew it immediately. At that point, she didn't care what her score was. She knew how good it was. It was her teammates who mobbed her once they saw 4 digits up on the scoreboard. It all piles up to a 49-7-2-5 beam rotation for Utah. That's not the surprising part. The surprising part is it only ties the season high for them. Ties the best in the country for the 2nd time this season on that event.
But it has to feel great because just a week ago they struggled. They had 2 mistakes on the balance beam. So they know they're great, but they got to get into that rhythm and they got to hold on to it, especially going into the back part of the season.
You and I have been around this program long enough to know that that was the event that would scuttle their chances in the regionals, in the semis, in the NCAA finals. And Tom Farden said, we're going to attack that event. We're going to go get beamers. We're going to work on it. We're not going to be afraid of it. We're going to own the beam. We're going to work with it. We're going to dance on it. And they have, and now you're seeing the result of that, and that's why that team right there is top 5 in the country. They've been top 5 ever since we started this season. Tom Farden on your right side, Carly Dockendorf on the left, and of course they switch sides. And there's a lot of talent in that huddle.
A great way to finish the meet.
And Oregon State, in any other meet, we'd be talking about how good the beams were on the floor. They average a 49-4. They just went 49-4. Jade Carey, a 9.925. I thought it was better than that, but I'm rooting for Jade.
You know, I thought they were a little tight on a few of the floor scores there. I thought Caitlin Yanish was going to lock into a 9.9 or better, and Jade Carey has been in that range, but they definitely were taking those landing deductions. She has so much power that the hop back on the lunge position is a bit subjective for the judges.
Jade Carey ranked 3rd in the country individually on the floor, has won 5 times, and every one of her scores a 9.9, and that streak continues. And Carey once again dazzling us both with her height, her dance ability, her lines. She just makes it look easy. She's fluid. I know announcers say that all the time and make it look easy. There's nothing easy about what she's doing, but she's just so comfortable in her Leo and on that floor. Heck, all the way, all four of her events. She's just an easy gymnast to watch.
Yeah, and she absolutely loves it. And that's what I think is really giving her the success as a freshman collegiate gymnast.
You know what it is? It comes to, she performs with humility, right? She respects the event. She understands the moment, and she's centered. She never looks rattled. She never looks nervous. She looks like she's enjoying herself, but not demanding your attention, just asking for it. So 148.45 for the Red Rocks at this point, 147.725. Both teams on pace for great scores, although both would need big final rotations to reach their best of the year. And remember, next week starts the official NQS, the national qualifying score. I don't want to bore you with it, but you take your top 6 scores, 3 have to be on the road, drop your high, and then average the rest. And that's what the rankings are based on, and that's why I always tell people that the rankings in gymnastics are not only the fairest, they are the most accurate because it's done by computers and not by people. Oregon State to the beam with Maddie Dagan. The Red Rocks of Utah over to the floor, where guess where they're ranked in the Pac-12 on that event? Yep, first.
We all build off of each other. And I think knowing she has so much experience and seeing how sure of herself she is in her gymnastics, it's helpful to see that, and you do learn from that. And now that I am in all around and we both are, we kind of help each other and lift each other up, which is really helpful. But yeah, we're really close too. We're roommates, so it's been a lot of fun with her.
Well, I guess it makes sense. You put a freshman with a senior, right? Show your way around. Got to find out where the library is. Where do we train?
Well, Maddie has been an incredible leader for this team, really gluing the culture together, which is so important. So when you bring in a Jade Carey who has the international experience, the high-level skill, and is a great competitor, no better way than to get a true leader of this team to show her the ropes.
And, of course, we'll be teasing Jade Carey all season about being a freshman coming out the Olympics, but she and Maddie Dagan, who's a senior, the same age. So Utah now in their usual spot as the crowd rises as a storm inside the Huntsman Center to finish off another opponent. But Oregon State's not ready to get on the bus just yet. The lineup for the beam. On the beam this year, they're ranked 14th in the country. They're third best in this conference. They've gone as high as 49.375. But it's going to take something special and maybe a little bit of luck. Jakubczyk to lead off for Tanya Chaplin and the Beavs. Chaplin, the all-time winningest coach in Oregon State history, 443 wins. Amanda, I haven't even seen 443 gymnastics meets. Jakubczyk has been the leadoff now in 5 straight meets because she's reliable. 4 times she's gone at least 9.775.
One of the goals for Oregon State was to put a meet together on the road. You mentioned those RQS scores. They're looking for a big road score, and it's been a strong meet. This can be a great event for them. They need to stay relaxed, really kind of find the team rhythm. Oh, small bobble there. She's gonna work back, I believe, and repeat what it should have been. Their coaches were telling me they're great at training the balance beam, so they need to trust the training. Oh. Back handspring layout, step out.
And listen to the Utah fans encouraging the Oregon State gymnast.
It looked like her legs just buckled underneath her a little bit. Dismounting 1.5 twist. Coming up short there too. So that's going to be the routine, they're gonna hope to throw that score out.
Lineup for Utah on the floor. Red Rocks begin with Abby Paulson. Paulson took over the leadoff spot at the end of last year. And don't go anywhere because you're going to want to see her first pass. The last two have been season highs of 9-9.
Here's the pass you mentioned, front through to 2.5 twists, so high, but perfect control. Abby's always been known for being a graceful dancer. She came into this season saying, I want something a little different, a more fast-paced routine. That's exactly what we're seeing here. I loved how the routine slowed down in the center, drew the crowd in, got everybody clapping. She sets up for this final pass. Such a fun routine for her.
Yeah, I wondered coming to Salt Lake City how the Red Rocks would respond after getting beat at California last week, and we know how good California is. Those two are going to battle it out at the Pac-12 Championships here in Salt Lake, but not in this arena over at the Maverick Center. I wondered how they would respond. It's like it never happened. Lauren Lech.
Solid front aerial in combination to that back handspring.
Lech had a 9.825 earlier on vault and a 9.875 on floor, so she's having a nice program tonight.
Difficult switch ring right there, dropping her head back. Anytime you take your eyes off the beam or look up into the ceiling of an arena can be risky.
Lech, a freshman, and that's significant for Oregon State because Oregon State, Amanda, has 9 freshmen on its roster. So it's a team of the future, but pretty good in the present as well. It's balanced by 3 seniors and 2 grad students.
Well, and as a freshman, she just did a phenomenal job of rebooting this team. She was calm, nice rhythm throughout that whole routine.
So they're going to need to go 5 for 5. Paulson with a 9.925. And that's a new career high for Paulson, that 9.925. I checked, she had a 9.925 way back in 20 against Arizona State. It ties a career height. Here's Lucy Stanhope. And remember, we heard from Amelie Morgan before, a Brit who won the bronze medal. It wasn't just Farden that got her here, it was Lucy Stanhope, another Brit, who said, come to Salt Lake City, you'll love it.
Big first pass here. Full in. For Utah floor, they had a new choreographer come in about August. And she was telling me earlier that Lucy sent one of her favorite floor routines to her when she was about 14 years old and said, this was my favorite routine ever. Can you find some music and some choreography that matches?
Talking about Maya Hambrick. Yep.
Absolutely.
Volunteer assistant coaching the choreography. Former LSU star.
She said she's loved working with this team, really trying to help them find their floor persona, right? It doesn't have to match who you are off the mat, but when you get on that floor, you got to put on a show.
That was nice for stand-up. She had been in the floor lineup in the first 3 meets, and then she had been removed from the floor lineup the last couple. Now she's back. She said, that's my spot, and I'm keeping it. Stanhope and Morgan, part of that 2019 British national team. First time and only time tonight, we see Jenna Domingo, junior from Kapolei in Hawaii, just outside of Honolulu. Has a win this year on beam. 9.925 against UCLA, but has also had some trouble. Big moment in her career.
Beautiful for an aerial to that standing pike.
It was. Full turn.
She has an effortless style, moving right down to the low, or down to the beam in that split position. Holding on to that three-quarter jump there. Looked like it was a little lean back. Nice job covering it up. Dismount and gainer layout full off the side.
Well, she was the Hawaii Gymnast of the Year back in 2018, and in high school, and you see this crossover a lot more than you think, she was a pole vaulter, because who's most comfortable being in the air upside down? Gymnasts, of course.
Good body awareness.
Stanhope, 9.875. That ties a season high. Jaden Rucker now. Rucker opens with a half in, half out. 3 times has gone 9.9, including a 9.925 twice. Crowds with her from the start.
Another big opening tumbling pass, half in, half out.
Is that the way it's supposed to be done?
Unbelievable. And then that personality right after the first pass. Jaden has always been so fun to watch on this event. I feel like they come in as freshmen and they're a little timid and conservative, and then you just watch them grow.
Well, you got to see her as a club gymnast, right? 12-time Arizona State champion. Won every event at the 2018 Arizona State Championships.
I did. She was a great club gymnast as well, but has been a star in this floor lineup.
Pac-12 co-champion on the floor last year. I think those are the opinions that matter most to her right there, aren't they?
Absolutely. They feed off each other as they're on the sidelines doing their routines, but they definitely feed off the energy in this crowd.
So Oregon State, after the initial bobble now, has got the numbers going in the right direction on beam. Letch went 9.85. Domingo, in her only event of the night, 9.875. Sydney Gonzalez, 4 times, has gone 9.8, including a 9.875. Sydney's always been good on the beam for the Beavs.
She looked a little off on the front aerial, but did a nice job staying fluid on the connection and then really snapped in the landing. Combination there, switch half to the split jump. Holding on to that landing there. Looked like she was a little sideways on the side aerial. Take another look right here. This combination has become very popular. Little crooked though when she lands right there. Leans, but doesn't take a step.
Good cover. Good numbers for Utah. In the first half of their floor rotation, 9.925, 9.875. Rucker keeps it going with the 9.9. And here is Grace McCallum, Olympic silver medalist, 2-time winner already on the floor. And 5 of 6 have gone 9.85 plus.
You talked about bars, the 3 different routines. Imagine the floor exercise, because she competed, right? Getting to the Olympics on this event. And then on tour, it was multiple routines to remember. They were saying she learned this routine maybe September, but then went on tour for a few months, so really didn't start fine-tuning it until November.
And you've been on those Olympic tours, right? It's different cities, checking in and out of hotels and buses and planes.
It's a lot of fun, but a lot of work.
Yep.
And it's exhausting because you want to put on a great show.
Of course, every night.
After night.
You see those young faces looking at you. They have your posters on the wall. They watched you at the Olympics.
But what a great opportunity to really work on your showmanship, especially coming into your collegiate career. Perfect combination there, front layout to that front 1.5 twist.
You're looking at a 2-time world champion and an Olympic silver medalist. But right now, she's a Red Rock and couldn't be happier about it. Grace McCallum. 9.9 for Gonzalez. High mark for Oregon State. Look at this rally on the beam they got going. And here's Maddie Dagan, who's all business. You can't get in that head. Better leave a message. Dagan all Pac-12 twice on this event. And coming off a 9.925.
Solid back handspring layout, step out. Beautiful leap combination, dancing right out.
come on. How good is that? What a great answer, too. And a reluctant clap from some of the Red Rocks fans. So, yeah, we got to admit, that was pretty good. 9.925 for McCallum. Miley O'Keefe, the NCAA champion on the floor, the Pac-12 Gymnast of the Year.
Miley's always been known for her beautiful dance, her extension and precision in every element. She also has a tremendous amount of dance difficulty, which you don't see many athletes do.
She's from Vegas. You gotta put some entertainment into it, right? A little pizzazz.
Got to know how to show it off.
Throwing in a wolf on the floor. Oh, I thought it was a little short.
Looked like she landed and that right foot kind of popped up.
Yeah.
But she did a nice job. I mean, there again, it's her extension all the way through. Her toe points right away like it's supposed to be there.
I'm never nervous or apprehensive when Miley O'Keefe is performing. She just has a sense of calm. It's business. She's clutch.
Well, she's ranked number 12 in the all-around for a reason, right?
Well, and she just hit another routine that's 105 for 105 in her Utah career.
Wow, that's impressive.
9.95 for Maddie Dagan, and she hands the baton to her roommate, Jade Carey. Carey ranks 6th in the nation individually on this event. She's won 4 times, and all of her scores have been at least 9.875.
For an aerial, connected to the back handspring layout, step out.
Ooh, little bobble covered
Little
quickly.
bobble. Nice leap combination. Dismounting off the side. Gainer layout full. You mentioned how consistent Miley has been. Jade, as a freshman, is coming in, not just being consistent, but putting up those big scores. I didn't want to say anything because that is a whole different ballgame when you're the anchor on beam and you've already had one major mistake, and to see her handle that pressure is a great thing for the Oregon State beam lineup.
Utah is already guaranteed of a great floor rotation, but they're not done yet. They have already hit 49.5 on the floor. Their best this year is a 49.675, and who better to do it than the 2-time captain, the 5th-year senior, the 2-time All-American, Sydney Solosky. Opens with a double layout, right?
One of my favorites to watch.
Woo!
See how high that goes? This is my first time seeing her floor routine this year in person. She's always been one of my favorites to watch on this event. Always looks like she's having so much fun out there. She actually got a routine and started training it, and then in October said, you know what, I'm not feeling it. So they actually switched her routine. She said, this is my last year. I'm gonna be performing in front of fans this year. I wanna get out there and I wanna feel like I can sell it.
It's her only event. She waits in the tunnel for 2 hours, for 2 minutes.
Combination to finish it. I think it's worth the wait. What do you think?
Absolutely. Excellent, Sydney. Excellent. Sid, the kid is all grown up, isn't she?
I know. I always feel so sad after watching them for all these years. I feel like we know them personally. Of course, we get to see some of them come back and sit in the stands or get to chat with us. But look at this first pass, straight up. 2 flips in that extended position, so high.
Well, that is going to have to give Utah one of its best rotations of the year. Although the crowd doesn't like the score. Oregon State just put up its best beam rotation of the season by far, 49.425. Crystalisa had the best beam set all night. She had a 10. We'll talk to her, come back to the Huntsman Center. Well, what a night in frosty Salt Lake City. Is it possible for both teams to win? Even though Oregon State is beaten in the meet, the 197-150, Amanda, is significant.
Well, they came into this meet saying, hey, we need a solid road score. So they finished up on the balance beam. They started out rough, but way to pull through, because that definitely is exactly what they were looking for here tonight.
That's their season best, the 49.425 on the beam, and it leads to that 197-150. Their best road score of the year. That's important when we get to the national qualifying score. And for the first time this year, and only the 4th team to do it, Utah with a tidy 198. Impressive.
Unbelievable. They were strong top to bottom. They really made their big marks, though, on the balance beam and the floor exercise, putting up huge scores, including the perfect 10 by that young lady, Crystal Issa.
Acknowledging all the winners tonight. Jade Carey wins the vault with a 9.975. She wins the bars with a 9.95. We know that Crystal Issa won the beam with a perfect 10, and Abby Paulson with a 9.925 on floor. Well, McCallum also had a 9.925, and so did Solosky. So it's a 3-way tie right there. Listen, this meet had everything. We talked about it coming in. You and I knew about it early, that as Issa is celebrating with MyKayla Skinner right in front of us, and it's kind of a mock celebration. We'll talk to her here in a second. She's going to throw a headset on. And it was the highlight of the night. Gives us a chance to look back at it. Walk us through the beam, Amanda.
Well, you know, just a week ago, this team struggled on this event. Well, Crystal Issa came in with perfection, overextending that straddle jump, showing off her flexibility. She had personality throughout, even a time for a selfie right there as she set up for a dismount. Gainer layout full off the side. Nice set position, gave her a perfect landing, and she knew it was a great routine before those scores ever came up.
And now the Utah senior joins us, Crystal Issa. Crystal, just a minute ago, I saw you run over and you and MyKayla with that embrace. It looked a little mock. It's welcome to our Zayo connection. We appreciate you taking the time. You and MyKayla have known each other a long time. What'd she say to you?
She just said she was like the usual, like, you're amazing and stuff, because I say that to her all the time. I really looked up to her my freshman year, and like I only got 1 year with her, but it was like she was such a great role model and just like something to aspire to be.
Well, this was your first perfect 10. Did you know it was perfect when you dismounted?
I did not. I kind of had a little stumble last week, and it honestly was very humbling, and I just wanted to hit for my team rather than like focus on the 10, because I feel like it just clouds the focus, you know?
Well, there were a few struggles last week on balance beam, but this team looked really different, a different mindset. What was it tonight?
It was we've had this hype around us. We know we're a very talented team. I think we just kind of lost sight of what we could do, looking too far ahead. And honestly, like, the loss was really disappointing last weekend, but it really grounded us. And now we're like a team focused on just moving forward and what can go right versus like what if we lose kind of thing. So we're just kind of winging it.
Yeah, coming off the loss at Cal, I wanted to see your reaction, but now you're just the fourth team, and I don't know if you know this yet, fourth team to go 198. You win 198 flat tonight. What does that say about this team?
I think it says a lot, especially since it still wasn't a 24 for 24 set. Like, I think it's a really good start, and I'm really excited that we finally got there, because I know we have it in us every week. But just for us to come together after that loss was like, it would make me cry. Like,
awesome work tonight.
Thank you so
Crystal,
much.
you've been amazing. You've been special. And now you're perfect.
Oh, thanks, guys. That's so nice. Thank you.
Crystal,
Thank
Lisa,
you, guys.
congratulations. Wow, what a night it was with all the Olympians in the building, and I got to sit next to another one, gold medalist from '96. It's a lot of fun for me. That'll do it for us. For Alan Brum, your producer, Mark Wolfson, your director, my partner, Amanda Borden, I'm Jim Watson saying so long from the Huntsman Center, where Utah puts up a season-high 198 flat, just the fourth team to do it. Oregon State 197 to 150, best road score of the year. Amanda and I will see you in Tempe, Arizona State, and UCLA on Sunday. Have a great weekend.